It's a hard thing, but someone's parent will not return from Afghanistan or Iraq or a training mission. That's been a fact of war since conflict began dividing the human race. Soldiers are parents. Soldiers are brothers and sisters. Soldiers are sons and daughters. And each time we lose a military member or a military member gets hurt, it leaves a hole in a family and a community. In my book, Operation Yes, I write about military families and what it's like to be part of one. But the book is not about death. It's about life. It's about saying yes to what you believe in, about recognizing that we are all fighting battles of one kind or another. And now I'd like to ask how many of you guys are part of military families? Great. How many of you know somebody that's serving in the military? Almost all of you. Great. You can put your hands down. So those of you who are parts of military families, does anybody want to share what they think the best part of being part of a military family is? Yes, in the back.
Going on base.
Going on base. You like living on base? Yeah, okay. Yeah, my kids like that too. They loved it that I could give them more freedom. I let them ride their bikes or walk to the pool or do whatever they wanted to do because I felt that they were safe on base. In the back?
I've gotten to meet a lot of new people.
You've got to meet a lot of new people? Yes, I love that too. We've lived all over the world, and I love it that we have now friends all over the world, and so do my kids. So, in the back?
Getting to see new places.
Getting to see neat new places, yep. Sometimes you get assigned to really small towns, and sometimes you get assigned to huge cities. Sometimes you get to go overseas, but you never know, right? And it's kind of exciting. Here?
Me?
Yes.
Like sometimes in the base, there's this huge elevator that actually goes downwards when you have to ride it for like more than 2 minutes.
Wow. Yeah, there's all kinds of, sometimes if your mom or dad can get you access to places. I know my kids love getting their own private tour of the Pentagon. And when we lived on bases with airplanes, their dad would sometimes take them out into the runway. And some of the stuff in Operation Yes was written because I had the opportunity to actually go out on the flight line and see some of that. And they loved, like for instance, the big air show on base. They love that too. And yes, right there?
Air show?
Air show, yeah, they're awesome, aren't they? And behind? Yep.
Military discount.
Military discount, let's not forget that. I know, I remember my daughter being really excited when she was a teenager and she went into Hot Topic and she realized that with her military ID she could get a 10% discount. And she still loves it to this day. Okay, well what are if you don't mind sharing, what are some of the sort of worst things or sad things about being part of a military family? Yes. Moving is really hard. I agree. I'll tell a story about that in a minute, but let's let a few more people share. Here?
A family member who died.
A family member who dies. Yes. Here?
The surprising news of hearing that the family is going into war.
Right. So sometimes you don't have much notice. And maybe next week, somebody that you love has to quickly get ready and deploy. Yes. That's really hard. It's really hard to prepare for that. Yes.
When they go on TDY.
When they go on TDY. I know. Even now with email, and you can't, maybe you can send email to them, maybe you can Skype sometimes, maybe not, depending on what their assignment is. But still, you can't hug them, right? And yeah, my husband was gone for a year plus 6 weeks to Afghanistan. And it was a long, long time. Yes?
Sometimes you don't know when they come back or they can get them because some places don't have internet access.
Exactly. Sometimes you just don't know, and I think that's almost the worst part, right? When you don't, they might be able to call you tomorrow, they might not be able to call you for 2 weeks. So I think that not knowing is really, really hard, at least it is for me. So
For those of us that don't have a military background and military experience, I had a question. What is TDY?
TDY is temporary duty, which means that you're not, PCS move would be a permanent change of station, or you would be actually moving to a new base. But the TDY is just when you're deployed. It could be for 4 weeks, it could be for a year. So that's what TDY is. Thank you for asking, because we tend to talk in acronyms. Okay. Well, I really appreciate you guys being so willing to share with me. because I do think there are ups and downs to anybody's family. But, you know, specifically what I know is military families.